was mean. They would call us all kind of names like Four Eyes or R word and everything. They're retard, slowpoke, goofy, just like what our mother did.
There were times when Flo and Kay fought back.
What kind of a mother are you? Oh, but then she would get mad. She would lock us in our room. But our father really never put a stop to it, really. He would always pretend it didn't happen.
I believed that she was manic depressive, also an alcoholic.
She was depressed and she wanted to have thoughts of suicide. She wanted some suicidal thoughts.
One night, their mother went downstairs to the kitchen and turned the gas on.
I remember the girls and Mom had their heads in the oven, and I would remember crying. I wouldn't do it.
And she said, "No, Mom, don't you dare. Don't you dare. They're my sisters, and I'd like to have them around with me."
I remember running out and getting help, and it's kind of a blur. The girls remember it more in detail.
So she went upstairs and got our father out of bed, and our father called the cops.
The police officers just gave Mom a lecture and just told her never to do this again.
And she says, "I'm sorry, girls. I won't do that. I won't do that anymore. I will never do that again. I will never do that again. I'm sorry I scared you."
Autism was little understood in the 1960s, making Flo and Kay's childhood particularly tough. Today they appear to be outgoing and sociable. So do they fit the autistic stereotype? How autistic are they?
What makes you feel happy?
Excitement, music, rock and roll concerts, or like.
Nancy Eisenberg, Director of Behavioral Science at the New Jersey Neuroscience Institute, is finding out just how autistic the twins are.
Joyful.
Joyful. Like, what does that feel like inside of you?
Oh, yeah, like Peppy.
Florence, let me ask you.
Okay.
All right?
Yes.
Can you tell me the name of one of your closest friends?
Cindy Fletcher.
Okay, Cindy Fletcher?
Yes.
And how often do you see her?
Well, last we saw her was on our birthday in 1995.
So that was a while ago.
Yes, it was.
I use the Autism Diagnosis and Observation Scale, the ADOS, to diagnose autism. You conduct an interview asking about friendships, you ask them about emotions, and then you observe how they describe emotions, how they use gesture, how they modulate eye contact.
How about you try?
Okay.
If you were trying to say it in a sad tone of voice.
I'm having a nice day.
Okay, and how about, can you try to say it in an angry voice?
I'm having a nice day.
They had very minimal eye contact. Their voice was poorly modulated, and they would talk quite animatedly about their area of interest, but otherwise wouldn't engage me in conversation. So they really did show the classic signs that we see in individuals with autistic spectrum disorder.
How did you know then that you knew the days of the week from the date?
Oh, from the calendar.
Dr. Eisenberg goes on to test the twins' savant skills.
January 15th, 1983.
Or that was a Saturday?
September 15th, 2001 was which day?
Saturday.
February 29th, 1976.
Sunday.
Dr. Eisenberg then tries the twins out on a date long before they were born, something it was previously assumed they were incapable of calculating.
And what about if we said November 30th, 1938?
Oh, yeah, Wednesday.
Yes, indeed, it is Wednesday.
Oh, my God.
How do you do that? Are you counting it, or does it just come to you?
Actually, it's up in our brain. We think we have a microchip up there.
It remains an enigma. We don't really understand how the computation is made in the brain.
Until we can account for the savant, we can't account for brain function overall. Until we can explain the savant, we really can't explain ourselves.
I see Flo and Kay as human beings, not simply human computers. But Flo and Kay oftentimes, repeated to me and continue to this day, "Hey, Dave Wagner, we're human computers."
The world is often a confusing place for people with autism. Flo and Kay have devised unusual strategies for coping with the world around them.
In New York City. This is a box of crayons that we're going to be using to draw all of our color charts. And now,
since they were children, Flo and Kay have made charts which catalogue what their favourite celebrities wear every time they appear on television.
We have kept today maybe about 900 to 10,000 color charts over the past 34 years since 1974.
Ladies, find everything you were looking for?
Yes, we did.
Good.
The world for many and most people with autism is hugely confusing, just like it is for all of us in some respects. But for them, it's hugely confusing because they have so many sensorial issues, hyper levels of sensate and vision, hypo levels in touch sometimes, and then the senses don't work harmoniously. They don't work in synchrony. And so the more that they can create order, the more secure they feel.
Flo and Kay have what's described by doctors as this rigidity of thought, these obsessions, these compulsions that are essential to their life to make their life normal.
You keep track of these almost every day?
Yes.
Dave Wagner was fascinated by Flo and Kay's savant abilities, but also intrigued by their obsessions and compulsions. He filmed a news story about Flo and Kay making their color charts back in 1996 for his local news show.
You must go through a lot of crayons here.
Oh, boy, do we. We always have to buy a new box every year.
Among many other celebrities, Flo and Kay have been charting Dave's clothes ever since they first saw him on TV.
What colors do I wear?
Oh, right now you got white and black on now.
They kept clothing charts on me over the years where they would keep track of the color of clothes I wore on the air.
Dave Wagner, Pat Sajak, Alex Trebek.
They keep track of the color of clothes that my wife wore, my children wore.
Elaine Lugadano, R.J. Reynolds.
I realized they did this for a lot of people.
Is this fun to keep track of this?
Yeah.
You enjoy it?
Yeah.
Flo and Kay have been watching television obsessively since they were children. As they grew up, their obsession with TV focused on one game show in particular, the $100,000 Pyramid, hosted by Dick Clark.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
From television to your Hollywood, this is the $100,000 Pyramid.
How are you, Dick?
It is the $100,000 Pyramid. It's the end of a week, and we've got to win some money here.
Ready, go.
Okay, here we go.
Okay, I'm listening.
Center.
Oh, I'm in
Love.
a very steamy place where you go.
Sauna.
When you hit yourself on the head really hard, you gotta.
Concussion.
Your tangled hair.
Paintbrush.
Since 1974, they've been keeping tabs on the pyramid.
Exotic things.
An Asian dancer. Super exotic.
They catalogue every question and answer, and write down the number of times buzzers and bells sound in the show.
Mud newsprint.
I think what's going on for these young ladies when they do this is, number one, it fits a particular time of day, and of course this reflection on facts. And individuals who've got a really good memory for facts thrive on that kind of stuff. And well, by the way, typical people watch game shows too.
Flo and Kay's obsession with documenting the pyramid is part of their autism. For the duration of the program, they are able to exercise complete control over what goes on in their world.
All righty.
It exercises your brain. And it makes it smell like rubber.
But mainly, they watch the pyramid for Dick Clark, the show's host.
If Dick Clark wasn't hosting it, we wouldn't have watched it.
Dick Clark is huge in the USA as a TV personality and game show host.
They've idolized him for years, and he's a very important part of their lives. They don't forget any of his birthdays.
When is Dick Clark's birthday?
November 30th, 1929.
Where was he born?
Mount Vernon, New York.
When did he start American Bandstand?
August 5th, 1957.
Dick Clark was king of the hill in their book.
Over the years, Flo and Kay transformed their bedroom with photos and souvenirs of their hero.
It was like a shrine. They had all kind of stuff, extension cords rigged up to toilet paper thing,
candle covers and light covers, like a teenage girl's room from like 1955. Man, it's like as important as air, I think, to them.
Yeah.
They need food and water and air and Dick Clark.
This is what we use for our personal savior. Here's really our personal savior. Oh yeah, well that was so. Dick Clark.
Flo and Kay's abiding passion for Dick Clark never let up, whatever else their lives brought. In 1983, aged 27, they were uprooted from Irvington, New Jersey, and taken by